This video is sponsored by athleticcases.com. Basketball, baseball, football, or soccer, no matter what the sport, you guys can now rock your favorite players on the back of your phone. Use the promo code ZachLee for 10% off your order. Links are in the description box below. Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zach Lee, and the first thing we gotta talk about today regards Kawhi Leonard, the superstar who was recently traded to the Toronto Raptors. And I'm going to really need you guys to hear me out on this one as I do my absolute best to try and explain what might be going on with Kawhi Leonard. Alright, so over the past couple of days, we've gotten a couple of reports out regarding Kawhi. One came from Nick Nurse, the new head coach of the Toronto Raptors, as he said a couple of days ago that he and Kawhi Leonard had an extremely long conversation about Kawhi's role with the team. We could have gone forever. Raptors management kept knocking on the door and I was like, a couple more minutes, because we were really into it. It was fun listening to his take, and he asked me, how are you going to use me? Where are you going to let me get the ball? What do you see? And I told him, listen to me. You can pretty much do everything. You can post, you can drive, you can handle it up the floor, you can play screen and roll, you can come off pin downs. I said, did I miss anything? He's like, no, that's about it. I said, you'll probably be doing all of that stuff. Now, we're going to come back to this after I get into the second report because there is something crucial that we need to talk about here. But for now, I will say that I find it hard to believe that Nick Nurse had a long conversation with Kawhi Leonard. When was the last time you heard of someone having a long conversation with Kawhi Leonard? In each of his interviews, he answers questions with no more than 5 to 10 words. So that's a bit strange, but I guess it's also a bit of good news, or a good sign at least, for Raptors fans in hopes of keeping Kawhi Leonard past this season, unlike the next report that we have to talk about. And this one comes from David Aldridge, as he said that he expects Kawhi Leonard to give serious thought to joining with the Brooklyn Nets in the summer of 2019. Marks is his own man, and his staff has his own tale to tell to Leonard and his representatives. The Philadelphia 76ers, for example, had a good shot at Leonard in part because of Leonard's relationship with the Sixers and coach Brett Brown, a relationship that formed while Brown was an assistant in San Antonio, unless Marks rubbed Leonard the wrong way somehow in the 2-1-0, and there's absolutely no evidence I know of indicating that. I think Leonard will give the Nets a fair hearing next July. And the Brooklyn Nets have been linked to quite a few players heading into free agency of next summer, mainly because they're about to have more cap space than any other team in the NBA. The Brooklyn Nets, after this season, are only going to have 7 players under contract, and none of those players are going to be making substantial amounts of money. So realistically, they could bring in around 3 max level players. And just yesterday as well, Mark Stein, when he was talking about the future of Kyrie Irving, listed the Nets, as well as the Knicks of course, as a possible destination for him next offseason. There are nonetheless credible rumblings in circulation that the fact that the Nets plan to pursue Irving right side along the Knicks should he become a free agent on July 1st, 2019. So if 2 or 3 guys are looking to team up in the league next year and form their own powerhouse, the Brooklyn Nets would be the most attractive team to go to since they could do it the easiest. However, there are also other reasons why Kawhi Leonard and Kyrie Irving even could actually consider the Brooklyn Nets. And this is where Kawhi Leonard's uncle and manager comes into play, Dennis Robertson. This is the guy who a lot of fans, especially Spurs fans, blame for this whole Kawhi Leonard situation, think that Dennis Robertson is speaking for Kawhi Leonard, tainted Kawhi Leonard, and that's why he really wanted out of San Antonio. And Kawhi Leonard's uncle has deep roots, family and business-wise, in the New York and Brooklyn area. And going back to Kyrie Irving, you guys remember how he originally wanted to be traded to the San Antonio Spurs. That was a team on a short list of teams that he originally wanted to be traded to so he could team up next to Kawhi Leonard. And it's not only that, but it turns out that Kawhi Leonard's uncle and Kyrie Irving's dad are extremely close. So there's a connection there as well. And who knows, the two sides could have already discussed the possibility of teaming up somewhere in the summer of 2019. And the area that makes the most sense for both sides, the area the two sides would definitely agree on, would be the New York or the Brooklyn area. And if it was just Kawhi Leonard and Kyrie Irving, I will say that I think they choose the New York Knicks over the Brooklyn Nets just because, well, the Knicks are already a better team than the Nets, so there wouldn't be as much rebuilding to do. But if there were to be a third player involved, the third guy that they'd want to team up with, that's when they go to Brooklyn. And what do you know, there could possibly be that third guy, Jimmy Butler. We've already gotten numerous reports this offseason about the possibility of him and Kyrie Irving teaming up in the summer of 2019, since he isn't the happiest with the Minnesota Timberwolves at the moment. So if Kyrie, Butler, and Kawhi want to team up, Brooklyn is probably the only realistic option as of now, unless other teams make room to make this possible. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, or I'm betting on it to happen, or even that I think it's going to happen. I still think Kyrie Irving would be crazy to leave the situation that he's in Boston, and who knows, Kawhi Leonard could end up loving it in Toronto, and they can pay him more than anyone else, so he could very well stay there. But I'm just saying, based off everything we know about the situation, all the facts, all the evidence that is out there, this could be a real thing. Like, this has possibility to be a thing. Either Kawhi Leonard and Kyrie Irving teaming up, or Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, and Jimmy Butler all teaming up. But that's it for now in regards to that. Like I said though, we do have to touch on the first report once again, the one about Nick Nurse and Kawhi Leonard having that long conversation. And remember that Nick Nurse said that he went over with Kawhi Leonard everything that he's capable of doing on the court, which essentially was everything, and he and Kawhi Leonard agreed that he could do everything on the basketball court. And Nick Nurse was like, fine, you're going to do everything for us on the basketball court, including initiating the offense, setting up other guys, stuff like that. And that right there is something that Kawhi Leonard didn't get to do much with the San Antonio Spurs. And there is absolutely no proof of what I'm about to say being true at all, but this is just something that I have been thinking about for the longest time, keeping track of everything that has been said or not said or anything like that about Kawhi Leonard's situation with the Spurs over the past year or so. And this is my gut feeling right here. I think Kawhi Leonard not being able to showcase everything that he can do on the basketball court might have been part of why he wanted to leave the San Antonio Spurs, so he could go somewhere else and be considered a true superstar level player, get superstar level treatment, the same treatment that players like LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook get. Because even though when Kawhi Leonard was healthy, he was the second or third best player in the entire NBA, he didn't get the same type of recognition or treatment worldwide that other players would get. Diehard NBA fans, sure, they would talk all day about Kawhi Leonard. If you really wanted to prove you were a hipster and knew what you were talking about in the NBA, you'd often say, even if you're not a Spurs fan, that Kawhi Leonard is one of, if not your favorite player in the NBA, because that means that you know something about the NBA because you watch Kawhi Leonard and the San Antonio Spurs. But for the more casual fans who don't watch all the games, and for the most part, what they know about these players comes from scrolling through social media and seeing highlights, they won't know as much about Kawhi Leonard. They'll know the name, but that's about it. They didn't get as exposed to Kawhi Leonard because what he was doing on the San Antonio Spurs isn't going to land him a lot of highlight reel plays. You're not going to see a lot of Kawhi Leonard highlights when you're scrolling through social media, because the Spurs system, the same system that they've been running for the past 20 years, doesn't cater to highlight real plays. And that's mainly because the Spurs built their system around Tim Duncan. It worked out for them extremely well the past 20 years. But even then, when Tim Duncan retired, guess what? They got LaMarcus Aldridge. And what did they do with LaMarcus Aldridge? They put him into the same role that they had carved out for Tim Duncan, and the system never changed. It's still not a system that caters to highlights. And just think about Tim Duncan and his career and legacy here. We're talking about the greatest power forward to ever play the game, a top 10 player in NBA history. Anyone who knows anything about the NBA wouldn't dare say otherwise. So accomplished, such a legend, yet he didn't really have that superstar effect. Even though skill-wise, the man was indeed a superstar. Worldwide, he just didn't get the same treatment that Shaq did, that Kobe did, that Kevin Garnett did, that Allen Iverson did, that Tracy McGrady did, that Vince Carter did. Fans were more likely to talk about a fancy pass that they saw from Darren Williams than just Tim Duncan going out there and putting up an extremely solid, efficient 25 points, 12 rebounds, and getting a couple of blocks. And the same thing that happened to Tim Duncan in that regards is happening to Kawhi Leonard. And I'm not even necessarily saying that that's a bad thing. Fans that watched Tim Duncan play knew he was great. Obviously, Tim Duncan knew he was great. His teammates knew he was great. The Spurs organization knew he was great. Everyone that knew anything about Tim Duncan knew that he was great. And he was content with that. He didn't go out seeking that superstar attention. He didn't want the extra attention from the media, fans, or anything like that. He was happy with what he was doing for his team. He knew he was contributing to a winning system, and that's all that mattered. But that's not what Kawhi Leonard necessarily wants. Kawhi Leonard wants to be a superstar. He wants to feel like a superstar. He wants that superstar treatment. He wants to go out and prove that he can do the same things offensively that guys like James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Kevin Durant, LeBron James can do, where they can set up for themselves, where they can get buckets in any type of way, but also create for their teammates. And creating for your teammates is something that Kawhi Leonard wasn't really allowed to do with the San Antonio Spurs. He wasn't able to dictate the offense or even have the same effect on the entire organization as other superstar players were allowed to have. And I strongly think that Kawhi Leonard can do those things. Remember, before last season started, he pretty much said that he added something new to his game. And the only thing that we hadn't seen from Kawhi Leonard up until that point in his career was his ability to play make. Everyone saw how it ended. The offseason started off slow, just rehabbing, getting back to 100%. But obviously, just like everything I say every year, just come back a better player, a better man, a better leader, and just work on my game. I respect it. I'm very passionate about it. I love to play. This is why I work so hard at it. I've been working on just everything, shooting. You'll see next season something new always comes. Now, unfortunately for us, due to injuries, coincidentally, we never got to see exactly what it was that Kawhi Leonard was talking about. But like I said, the only thing that us fans hadn't seen from Kawhi Leonard that he was able to do up until that point in his career was really play make for others on a consistent basis. We've seen flashes of it in the past, but for the most part, he wasn't doing that with the San Antonio Spurs. Could be because of the system that he was in. That's just not something that the Spurs offensive system allows for players to do, to completely dictate the flow of the offense. So what did he do? He wanted to go to a bigger market, a bigger team where he could be the guy, where he could have the ability, the freedom to dictate the offense and become more of a highlight reel household name, get the superstar treatment that he wants. Now though, here's what I want you guys to do. I've been debating trying it out for the past month at least, bring back question of the day, but I just don't know how much you guys are really interested in it. I know some of you really want to back, others not so much, and others just don't care at all, which makes it hard for me to determine whether or not I should be doing it. So here's what I want you to do. First of all, if you want question of the day back, you have to leave a like on this video. If this video doesn't get enough likes, clearly that means that you don't want it back, so it won't come back. But other than that, also answer today's question of the day using the hashtag QOTD. If it gets enough responses, I'll know that people really want to do this. And by the way, today's question of the day is this: what do you guys think about the possibility of Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, and Jimmy Butler teaming up? Do you think that it's a real possibility that Kawhi Leonard and at least one of those guys could team up somewhere else next offseason, either in New York or Brooklyn? Answer that question using the hashtag QOTD. Remember to leave a like on the video if you want to see question of the day coming back. And yeah, now though, real quick, here's just a rundown of everything else that's going on in the basketball world. First up, Tristan Thompson reportedly punched Draymond Green in the face at LeBron's ESPYs after party, and here's how it went down. Draymond Green went up to apologize to Tristan Thompson for what happened after Game 4 of the finals. Thompson didn't accept the apology, and Draymond tried again, saying that he didn't mean anything that he was saying, and then Thompson punched Draymond in the face, but Draymond didn't go down. And I guess the moral of the story is you just can't say whatever you want and then expect sorry to fix it. If you say something that really crosses the line and then just go up trying to say sorry to the guy, and then he's like, no, we ain't cool, and they like, come on, be cool with me, I'm sorry, you just might get punched in the face. And considering that this didn't escalate further, that Draymond Green didn't try to retaliate, he might even feel like he deserved to get punched in the face, and that's why he didn't retaliate. He just took it, and they both moved on. Next up though, Charles Barkley yesterday predicted that the Lakers won't finish higher than the 5th or 6th seed in the Western Conference. I was hoping James would stay in Cleveland. I look at the move to LA as strictly a business decision. He's on the downside of his career. He wants to be a big Hollywood mogul. He's going to be driving by the beach every day instead of going through the snow. The Lakers are not even close to a top tier team. They're a 5th or 6th seed in a best case scenario. Considering that we have yet to see any signs whatsoever of LeBron James slowing down in his career so far, he's coming off arguably the best season that he's had, statistically speaking. I don't see how you could say that he's on the downward path in his career. I don't see it. And just like James said in his interview a couple of days ago with ESPN, he said that his goal while he went to the Lakers is trying to restore their legacy, to restore them to a championship team, because he enjoys that challenge. Also, that he's always wanted to play for the Lakers ever since he was a little kid, and now he decided, why not? Let's just go play for the Lakers. As for the Lakers being the 5th or 6th seed in the West, I can't really comment on that because no one can tell as of yet. It's impossible to know. And lastly, yesterday, the Lakers revealed their new jerseys for the upcoming season in a promo video on social media. They said that these jerseys are kind of inspired by the Showtime Lakers era, and you can definitely tell and you can definitely expect the LeBron ones to completely fly off the shelves. It's going to be the best selling jersey this year, no doubt. But that's going to be everything that we have to cover today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to leave a like on it if you want Question Today to come back and answer today's question today using the hashtag QOTD, so it's easier for me to find and your answer won't be kind of disregarded. Other than that, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications as well so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you once again for watching. You guys are the real MVPs, and until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.